Well, our first co-op game, as a one-shot slash mini, depending on how things go, has concluded, and we're here in the after party. How do you guys feel?
W.
W.
Very descriptive, guys. Thank you.
I know that's really
That's the
fun.
after party. Hope you
I-
enjoyed.
I'll let Sean go first because he's more.
I was gonna let
he's,
you
he's
go first because I've done this a time or two. That
oh
way,
fine.
this is your first one doing it, so you're gonna have more to say than I do.
Yeah, I mean I guess. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, so what we'll do, yeah, we'll
Kinda
just
how
start with general impressions.
I thought it was really good. And how we were kind of going about out and about. Um, I mean, like general impressions, like just outside in, like very simple, basic kind of stuff for right now. Which, like you said, we don't know whether it's gonna be a one shot or make it into a mini series. So that's kind of how we wanted it. And I think that was like the perfect little fit for it. Kind of nothing too crazy happening. Like even with the scenario, like how it ended, where it kind of could have been crazy, it's still kind of more laid back and everything. Like I think the part where it's probably the riskiest was probably the very beginning.
For
When we
you,
were
maybe.
first meeting
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
For
you,
For
I was
Clayton,
fucking
maybe.
fine.
My boy Clayton was he was struggling. I'm gonna say he was tired from fighting. That's his excuse.
Yeah,
Don't.
I should have had you start with exhaustion. That would have been funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't remind
That would have
us,
been
and
pretty funny.
otherwise you're gonna be fatigued
It is
more
true.
than
I
you
do forget
fucking
about
want to be.
exhaustion a lot. I was going to give you guys -1 exhaustion after resting in the apartment, and then I was like, nah, fuck them.
It worked out.
Yeah, you guys didn't end up needing it. But Sean, your impressions. This is your first co-op game. This was Mason's
It was
first
fun.
game in the series. This is your first
It was
co-op.
fun. One, because it kind of let me play a little bit more on the back burner, where there were some things where I was like, ah, well, fuck it, whatever you want to do. Like whenever Mason was fighting the fucking, or Clayton rather, was fighting the fucking zombie at the door, it gave me the opportunity to just kind of not have to fucking deal with it and let him deal with it, which was nice. Not having to be, all the time taking the, you know, the bull by the horns, which was fun. And then just being able to have like other help. I mean, obviously, my other playthroughs, I have all the other party members that are with me, but having an actual sentient person. There were some things where I was hoping Mason would do, but he didn't, which is why I was like, you know what, never mind, I'll save it for the after party. Because what I
Yeah,
was,
we'll probably get there.
whenever we get to that scene, I'll go over it. But that's also kind of the beauty of it too, because then it keeps me on my toes. Because whenever it's just me, whatever I'm wanting to do with the freedom I have, I can kind of think ahead and plan on what I want to do. Where whenever there's another element involved, you don't necessarily have that option. To where you have to react instead of, plan things out. You got to be a lot more reactive than proactive.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I do love seeing that roll of 1 by you at the end. I do love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see whenever I fucking fail. So,
It is true.
as
I
it's
do love that.
tradition.
But our two heroes for the story. Impressions on Clayton. How you guys feeling
I'll
about
let
Clayton?
Shon start off because it's
How
obviously
am I
my
feeling
character,
on
so it's kind of
Clayton?
hypocritical.
Not having. I mean, he was cool. I was gonna say, there's definitely, and this isn't a slam against Clayton, but I got some pretty tough ass
Yeah,
fucking
and for
characters
your
in my
own character, you
playthrough.
can kind of give your impression on how you felt about playing as him and how things went.
So, still not better than Steve. Steve the goat. Not gonna cap. For Dexter, Steve's the goat. Can't
I
can't really
mean,
do much about
honestly,
that.
John's the goat, but
Steve W Steve. Um, John's good too, but now that I've played more as Steve, I like Steve more. Obviously.
okay.
Um, as far as Clayton goes, I mean, I obviously enjoyed the character and have anything wrong with it. I wish he wasn't as brutal at times, but other than that, there's not
Yeah, I
really.
love a
I don't have
boxer
any
being
gripes with him.
being a 0 modifier constitution and having flat
Oh, that's
base
the best
armor.
part. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best part.
it was certainly a moment in history, that's for sure.
Although I will say, and I don't think Mason knew this, but so your constitution affects your armor, which he did know. But if he would have made his constitution a negative modifier, it would have reduced his armor from 10 down to 9 or potentially 8, 8 being the minimum armor.
Mhm. Then you
Didn't
probably
go ahead and
actually
do
would have
that.
died.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't a. Well,
Which
right
is
now I'm
funny
kind of
because
glad.
initially you were going to make your Constitution 18, which would have given you
It
13
was,
armor.
yeah, but I figured it'd be somewhat better
Or
dexterity
actually, I
wise,
believe
or wisdom.
as of current rules, that was up to 14. So you would have had a 14 con or a 14 armor.
See, originally,
Originally, it was set where it could only be 13, but that has been changed in as of current rules. And by current rules, I
yeah,
mean the next session that gets. Well, actually, no, this will be after. So yeah, as of the Christmas episode, the armor cap for Constitution modifier is 14.
W Christmas episode, by the way. I won't say much on W.
It's already out by this point, so
I know, so I'm not gonna say much. They've seen it.
but I think my
yeah,
boy
and Mason
Clayton's
knows
pretty
all about
cool.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, amen. Such a good episode. Recommend it to anybody. But no, I think my boy Clayton's pretty fun to play as. It's just kind of it's kind of sucky, but also really fun whenever like I do have to do something that I'm strong in, like my wisdom and
The
obviously my
highs are high
strength.
and the lows are lows.
Yeah, but my lows are definitely low.
Yeah, so if you
Like,
did come back, before we move on to Dexter, if you did come back for another session, since right now Sean is the only permanent player, if you did come back for another
Yeah.
session, would you... Shut up, Sean. Would you like to play Clayton again, or would you like to roll a new character? And this isn't like me asking like, oh yeah, for the next session you're here. This is just like generally.
Let
how
me
you're feeling.
interject. Roll
I
another
think
fucking character and give yourself Constitution. God damn it, please.
no, I think
Oh,
it's
God.
fun to play as the same character a little bit because it gives us the opportunity for like if we
Right.
continue on this road, it gives Clayton and Dexter the chance to grow and uh kind of get character development. But I feel like if I bounce to someone else, I'd just have to like basically develop this other character, but
Yeah,
not
that's not to
fully
say if
develop
you
them.
made another character, that's not
That
to
would be if
say
like
that Clayton's
he's
just
saying in like
gone.
another
Be gone.
playthrough. He's like saying
Yeah,
another
no.
playthrough. If you were to do another playthrough, would you want to continue as Clayton? Like, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Clayton and Dexter pretty much this is their story. They're not gonna like they may show up in like other continuities and not continuities, but other like obviously it's all in the same like DorD realm if that makes sense, DorD
They're
universe.
all
But
all of
if
this is
there were to
still
be
within
another
the same
playthrough, it's
continuity
like, do you
as the
want it to
main
be a
story.
continuation of Clayton, he's saying, or do you want it to be a different character and then either develop a campaign off of him or do a one shot with a different character? You just only want to do Clayton from here on out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
like
think
let's
what
say
he's asking.
theoretically you join the main campaign, either for whether it's like just like a one-time thing or if you permanently stuck around the main campaign. Do you think that you would want to be Clayton or a new character?
I
And
think in that
this
kind of
isn't locking you
scenario,
in. You're not locked in with whatever answer you give.
I feel like in that scenario it's kind of different because like that's just like a different environment. So I feel like it'd be more fun to see what I could get from a different character because like
Mhm.
choosing like having Clayton, it was kind of based off. I kind of based it off of what I rolled, and what I was like. Dang, this would actually fit well for a character like this.
Yeah, whereas traditionally all the characters that have been rolled thus far, with the exception of Clayton, have been come up with the character first, then do the rolls.
Yeah, and so like
Yeah.
in that situation, it makes it to where Clayton just makes sense. He's literally a glass cannon. Like he's super shy. Doesn't talk that much. He's really awkward.
A
You
timid
know.
boxer. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, but he's got to make money somehow.
I
Whatever.
Suppose it is
did.
underground.
I was thinking about making a joke about it and being like, okay, yeah, your skill is actually in intimidation, not because uh he's actually intimidating, but just because he's so off-putting with his charisma that people are like, no, there's no way that's actually what he's like.
This guy is a weird
That'd be
fucking
funny.
dude. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah, and it would just like unnerve people, and he would get proficiency with intimidation just because it'd be funny. But you chose different things, so I was like, yeah, we'll just stick with what you chose.
But no, like I like my boy Clayton. Like I would love to play him, like keep playing him, and then like I said, kind of develop his character development, whether it be with Dexter or other people, and just kind of see how it goes. But obviously, I think the idea of playing as someone different and getting a totally different like idea of what I'd be doing and how I'd want to play it would be fun too.
Yeah. So our YouTuber friend Dexter, I don't think this channel's gonna be doing too well anymore.
No, channel's a W. Fuck out of here. Kidding me?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Fucking kidding me? Come on now. What the fuck wouldn't it be?
Go ahead, Sean. Talk about your.
Why wouldn't it be going? No, I gotta hear something from the DM. What makes you think Dexter's shit's not gonna be on the up and up?
Probably because most of his viewers are not gonna be very active online.
The
We don't know
internet
if,
is
we don't
probably
know
not
if
gonna
this
be
shit's
up here
global.
soon.
We don't know if this shit's global.
That is very true.
Yeah, but we do know that you are not global.
Nah, Dexter's fucking global. Alright, he's fucking global.
I think the boy Dexter's pretty a cool bring in. I feel like it's like, fun to just have the idea of this person just kind of somewhat ready for a situation like
Sean,
this.
I do need a scale. Rank out of all the 4 characters that you've played, scale them.
Fuck.
How do your 4 characters scale against each other? Order it.
Oh, fucking hell.
And that's
I'm
like
not
the
gonna-
actual characterization. That's how you like how much fun you had playing them. All that stuff.
Yeah, Dexter's dead last. Not because I didn't enjoy playing him, but because I enjoyed the other characters so much fucking more. Then it's gonna go John, just because I played him the one time. I did really enjoy it. It was the first one that I ever did, so I did have a really good time doing that. But as I've been able to play with Steve more, I like Steve ahead of him because he's the main person that I've been
Steve
using.
has had like 4 or 5 sessions to 4 sessions to really get
Exactly.
fleshed out.
So he's got a lot more just going for him, and the reason why I like Steve so much too is because of everything that's going on around him in terms of like the crew and everything that I've established.
Yeah.
So I really do like that. Number one's got to be Chris Kringle. I mean, there's no fucking ifs, ands, or buts about it. Chris Kringle is on fucking top. I don't know if it'll be topped. The only way that it ever would be is if I get to play as Frank at some point, and then that'll be number one. But other than that, no, Chris Kringle's on top, easy.
Yeah, and so on the same idea, Mason, can you rank Sean's characters?
They're
Yeah,
gonna rank my
I'd say out of all the characters that I've played with, Dexter is one of them.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
But how
I
did you
will
feel
say
about
that.
Dexter now that Sean's given his 2 cents?
Dexter's still a W.
I
what.
think the boy Dexter is a character that's, like I said, it's
He
fun to
definitely
have
is a
because,
character.
yeah, he's fun to have because like he's already built the idea of, well, what if things do go to shit? Yeah, he's taken it to kind of like a lesser
A
extreme.
comedic level.
Yeah, like like we were saying, like Coyote Peterson and like all these other like people that are oh, survival people in the woods. I'm gonna drink my own piss.
Thanks for the 5.
I think I think
Whatever you're rolling for, you suck. You suck.
I was seeing how many shitty ones I was gonna get before I got a good one, so I'm glad I
You did get another one,
I'd have
though.
been fucking dead.
You did get
I'd have been
another
fucking
one.
dead.
damn. But I think the boy
Holy
Dexter was fun to have
shit.
because like
You suck.
especially
Holy
with how we kind of
shit.
like went about it, getting into the woods and stuff. We kind of have a lot more opportunity for his character
Clear and check.
comparably with like ideas and stuff that he could think of, which I mean, with him talking about ideas, I think him and my boy Clayton could honestly make this little camp like pretty poppin', not gonna lie.
But Sean, do you concur that they could make the camp so poppin' that it's better than the Ranger Shack currently is?
No, not possible.
Me just twisting
even
the
close.
question entirely.
not even fucking close. Not even fucking close.
But
Ranger Shack's fucking popping, bro.
we'll-
We got bitches, we got money, we got everything.
I didn't even have you guys on the the page with the characters.
Oh yeah, you had us on the fucking camp.
Yeah, my bad. But Sean's done this before, but for you, Mason, we'll quickly shotgun through the scenarios as they happened.
Yes, sir.
So we start with the back streets. I know Sean was very involved with this one.
Mm-hmm. Tell us how it goes, Sean.
Well, he
W.
was here for it. He watched. He knows how it happens. But yeah, this was our starting scenario for Clayton, at least.
Get the boy
And-
in here, get it
Yeah,
going, get the
he,
ball rolling. He
Tried saving his friend, did not.
oh.
Killed a sprinter,
W.
killed another zombie, knocked another zombie to the ground, and then left.
So here's my question: if I would have been able to
Ultimate
save my
Fighter.
friend, would I have been able to like fully save him, or was he kind of dead to be dead?
You could have potentially saved him, but you would have needed really high rolls.
I got you. I didn't know if he was gonna be like somebody that
It could have
if
happened.
if like I would have got good enough, we could have had a companion.
He wouldn't
Like
have been
the
companion.
slightest thing. Okay. He'd have
Yeah,
probably
I was
dipped out
keeping it
after-
strictly no companions, and I'll
I
get
understand. Yep.
since Sean's played with companions and without companions, I'll get his thoughts at the end about it. But for now, we'll just kind of slide to the next one. Taxi scenario.
Yeah, fuck that family, by the way.
Yeah, Sean took it a little off the rails and made things a little unhinged.
Bitch didn't know how to fucking drive.
I was fine with that part. That's not the part that was
The two
a bit
children
much.
did
Just stop.
shit on.
Just yeah. Don't finish that.
What was it? I didn't hear it.
So
Yeah, the family died there. That was crazy.
yeah.
So
So
Family of zombies. Let's say that. So that way people know. It wasn't just a random family.
It still was, but they're just
Family that turned into zombies got shit on. There you go.
so,
W shouldn't have messed with the
Dexter's
taxi
intro.
driver.
Dexter's intro. Yeah, and you talking about how much of a W he was turned him into a difficult zombie that your ally had to fight.
Did I though? He
I mean,
handled
he
it.
took
Yeah,
some pretty
first-
heavy damage, if I recall.
First time meeting for Clayton.
No, he took more heavy damage against the fucking armored one in the next one. No, I thought that's where he took the majority of his damage.
No, I think
He
the
took damage in
majority of my
both.
Damage. Let's see.
Uh,
The majority of the damage was probably closer to.
I seem to have already removed the apartment encounter, so I won't be able to put that on screen.
I think the apartment was definitely could have played out better for us.
For
Our luck
one
was
of you.
definitely not that good.
it went great for fucking me.
I don't know. You failed your rock throw too.
Yeah,
Did
I failed
fail
my
a rock
throw and
throw,
went out of there
but-
You
with
did
fucking
too.
96 health or some shit. I was fine.
Yeah, but I think
You
I think
almost
that
fucking
whole-
died on your third encounter, Mason.
Yeah, that's okay. You live and you learn.
Or in
And
some
how
cases,
many
you may not
zombies
live.
you know how many zombies I killed, man? That's
I
what we should have kept
am
up with. We should have kept up with how many people and zombies we killed.
So we can tally this up. How many did you kill in the first encounter? One.
He killed
Two.
two.
The other dude
One was
already
a
fucking sitting
sprinter.
there on the ground. You just finished it, right?
No, he killed two actual zombies.
So he's got three. And
He ki-
then
he killed. It was in the first scenario. He killed two.
and one of them was a sprinter. I thought you said he killed two and then a sprinter.
No,
Okay.
he killed two. One of them being a sprinter. So I don't know if you want to count the sprinter as just a standard kill. Since
Yeah,
those
I do.
are
The
okay.
kill. He's got two zombies.
Yep.
After that, you get to this encounter. You killed what? Two?
Three, I think. I killed the one in the taxi. One
I
of
think he
the
killed
one of the
four.
one on the sides. I killed one that was like over here. I killed the one here. That's three. And then I honestly I think I helped you with one more. So yeah, it might have been four. It's
Nah,
either three or four.
false. I was a family of what? 7?
They weren't all part of the family.
There was
I was a
four.
family of
There's
7.
four in the family. The taxi driver, and then one person. They.
Oh, there was more than
animals
that.
and stuff
'Cause
like
I
that.
think I took out 2 before you helped. Before you came in.
There's one here. The two here.
I suppose it doesn't
is-
really matter though, either way.
Yeah, either way. Either way, I got like 3 or 4 kills. And then the apartment scenario. I killed the armored
Killed the
one,
armored zombie,
and then
and
I
you killed the other two that were down there, and Sean killed one in stealth.
So that's another 3.
We're still counting. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You're the one who
God.
wanted to.
Exactly.
You're the
I
one who
just
wanted to.
said. I just
That's-
said. I suppose it doesn't matter, and then you said yes. I thought we were moving on.
No, it's too late.
Now I'm gonna tally this shit up. I fucking killed 2 right here before you even showed up. Then I killed another one right over here. And
We'll
then
count it in
I
the.
can't
killed
wait
the
until I have
one
to
right
edit this
here.
and you're just completely wrong and
Yeah, we're
misremembering things, and you're
we're
both just
probably all
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
Oh my god. To the next
Regardless,
fucking scene, please.
you guys were in the apartment.
Chowing down.
Sean again a bit unhinged and just going on random tangents.
I
Well,
said while he's doing all that, I'm looking through the pantry.
Yeah, when we understood that the first time.
Hey, he's got a lot of shit in there. We need to get the provisions.
It's a random apartment. The pantry's not that big. It's not that
Yeah,
it's not that
I
deep,
mean,
bro.
I could probably get done like
He's
2 minutes.
he's a underground like back street
He had
boxer.
he had
He
he
did
had
not have
fucking,
shit.
he had cold cuts.
You
He
literally
had
the
a
first
lot of
thing you bring up is
spam.
he had spam. Like
Yeah, and then I started looking more into it. He had some Lay's crack. Well, not that we're sponsored. But Lay's
anyway, we're
sponsored.
not getting into that
Crack
again.
pepper kettle cook.
So
that's in my
moving
pack, by the
on, you
way.
guys slid out the
Salt and
back
Vinny.
after he killed another zombie.
Icy mustard.
Ran into the girl.
No, yeah, you run into the girl. She was infected. Brought up the mall. You guys did not decide to go to the mall. Instead, you go out to the woods.
Yep.
W for woods.
You guys kill a couple more zombies.
Yep.
Set up tent. And camp out here until from day 1 all the way to day 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we did do that.
Our survival expert, not that great at surviving, as it turns out.
At least for right now.
At least good at training. Yeah, I was at least good.
Yeah, he did train you well.
train.
And you managed to really pull a lot of weight around here.
Yeah, but what did he do? I thought we were just surviving off the rations.
No. So you basically were training me like about the bow and
And that was how much
hunting
you
and
picked up on the
Bow
training?
and hunting and
all
all
this.
that kind of
How
stuff.
much you got out of it,
I
or what?
rolled
So
on
you-
how good I.
So you
Yeah.
sucked at training
Okay.
him, but he just happened to be a really good learner, I guess.
And,
W. That means I'm a good trainer.
I would say that more of he's good at picking up new skills.
Nah, I'm a great trainer.
But after that,
Yeah.
we hear the beeping on as we're going about doing our gathering, basically.
Yeah, and we transition to the supply crate.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the one that I was like, we definitely played this out differently than I kind of expected. I figured there'd at least been some dialogue. Not gonna lie to you.
What, between me and you?
No. Between at least one of the attackers. There was not a
there
drop of
could
dialogue.
have been, but you guys initiated contact with them by Sean jumping off of a roof and tackling a guy and stabbing him.
Not even. All I can just imagine him.
He like Wolverine jumped at him.
It's straight fucking smoke, brother. I don't give a damn.
So there
I want that
couldn't
fucking
have been
crate.
communication at that point. Now, if he'd have done it
Hey,
without any of them
listen.
noticing, but he did it in plain view of one of them, and where one could potentially see it easily.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know what? It was going to play out way different in my head, but there was something that Mason didn't do, and that's whenever I was like, I'll just save it for the after party. You had... Everybody was facing these people, like the zombies right here, and you had the gunman right here. The store door is right there. I was hoping you would, in stealth, go out and like knock him out or kill him, so that way the dude that was coming this way, if I went and killed him, nobody would have seen it.
The dude
Meaning
that was
then,
coming this way was one of the gunmen. There's a gunman
exactly,
here,
and then there was another
were
gunman
people
right there.
There were people over here.
They were
There are people
they were aggroed on the zombies, I want to say already though, so they wouldn't have been paying attention to you, which is why I was hoping you'd go and stealth kill this guy right here, because then I could kill him, and then we could move in and just backdoor him and kill them all. Since it didn't work out that way, I was like, fuck it, I'm still gonna kill this guy because he's got a gun and we need to get him gone. So I went and killed him, and then obviously what happened. I was
I feel like
hoping that
that-
you'd go through and
So
kill
that's
him.
how Sean saw it happening. Mason, how did you see this happening?
Not like that, because as we obviously know, my stealth is not that good. So if I would have gone for this dude, I would have fucking probably failed. And...
I mean, it's -1. So at that point, you're basically just betting on luck.
But
minus
then all
one's
these
not-
people over here would have
usually
been
not gonna
kind of
make or break.
noticing.
That's if you
because-
failed.
Yeah,
But
that
you were already in stealth, so you would have had advantage.
Yeah, I
just
mean, that
opening
would have
the
been a
door.
difficult roll, though, just because literally the next turn, the guy who was here, the zombie was dead. So,
he's getting up and seeing both of us. You'd see me.
so
here
yeah,
and
that
him
would
here.
it would have been
The
if
next
he
turn,
rolled
he
well,
killed
it
the
could have
zombie,
happened.
though, right?
If he rolled well, it could have happened, but it would have been that would have been a difficult.
I feel
check.
like the way we played it was the safest possible way for us to do it.
I got
Like,
fucking shot.
yeah, but that's also because you could have sat there. So what I was expecting is once you got to back here, I was expecting you to come in here and us tag team these people. Because
How
both
would I
of
have
them
been
were.
able to get there?
There's a door.
No, I'm saying the other people were already right here, and there were still zombies out in front right here.
No,
So they
so
just would
like
have been fighting.
once you killed this dude right here, you ran this way, and both the gunman and the dude with the melee weapon came here.
Yeah, so he's saying instead of you preparing
Okay.
to engage with them,
You
you
pro-
just
So
sneak
the
inside.
let me tell you the reason why I didn't do that, because I knew that you were in there and you were stealth and nobody saw you. What fucked it up is whenever you fucking slammed against the window, because I was like, okay, cool, they don't know that he's there, so if I can take these people, he can either come out and backdoor him, or he can go
Backdoor
however
him.
he wants to. Backdoor him and be behind him.
But what I'm saying is, if you would have got them inside, I would have had stealth on my hand to do more damage to whichever one, and then also it'd just be able to we'd be able to get them in there and have a better chance of neither one of us taking a lot of damage.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it still played out well enough.
it worked out. The last thing I wanted to do though was give the gunman a fucking confined area to start shooting at us at. So I was like, you know what? I'll handle it right here.
But Austin even said there was shelves and stuff in the way. It's not like a
Yeah, so
just a
here's how
straight
I
shot.
imagine this playing out. I imagine that you guys would wait for them to engage with the zombies and then turn it into more of a three-way fight where they were kind of sandwiched where the zombies are right on them so they can't really focus against it, but you guys can just take pot shots at them.
See, that's what I was wanting to do, and then they started killing the fucking zombies, so that wasn't a fucking thing
If
we
you
could
would have
do.
if you would have just not spent 4 turns passing, that could have happened.
How?
Oh no, I think if we would
We had to let it pass because the zombies were all under here, and they were by Mason too. If we did anything, the zombies would have came to us.
Well, yeah, but
I think-
initially there were only 3 guys that were over here, and the zombies were coming straight for them.
And that's what I'm saying. I think we played it almost the best way because if we would have done if we would have tried to pinch these guys over here.
Yeah, I'm not bashing the
Then
way you guys did it.
these
I'm just
dudes
saying
over here would've
that's
sat
not
there
what
and
I was.
fucked us up.
That's not how I expected it to go.
Yeah, like I said, I think the only thing that I feel slightly could have changed was just us working as a team to attack the dudes out here. But even then, because if you would have led them inside, I would have failed my attack against them anyway. And so it doesn't.
Mhm.
It's not like it really changes.
I
Too
mean, it all
much.
worked out. We got the shit that we needed, and then
Yeah,
got out.
exactly.
So it's good either way.
I think we played it to where we almost took the least amount of damage we could.
Mhm.
Sean got shot, but even then,
'Twas but
we
a
played it
flesh
well enough
wound.
where, yeah. But I think we kind of got that good. We got 2 vehicles out of it.
Not anymore. Them things are chopped.
What if we would have stuck around there? Would more zombies have appeared
Yes.
or anything?
Well,
More
okay.
humans
If you
would
would have
have appeared.
decided to stick around, I would have had, because I know it would have pissed Sean off. I would have made Sean make a situation roll about how things would happen. If he would have rolled good, then you guys could have just looted and nothing would have happened at all. But
What
the
would a
worst his
14 have
roll.
gotten us?
14, maybe a couple zombies approach. If it was a 17 or higher, I would say you guys are just in the clear and you're able to sort of loot the area very quickly, and nothing happened.
Yeah, good thing it wasn't me.
Yeah, we would have been fine. And
Yeah, because
if
your roll
it
would have
went
happened right
bad-
now.
Yeah.
If it went bad,
If it went bad, I mean,
more people and zombies.
yeah, there would have been a
Or
lot
just
more
more
potential
zombies.
for bad things to appear.
No,
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to get the fuck out too. Because just if I'm
What
thinking
was-
in an IRL situation, there we're overstaying our welcome. There's a bunch of people that are going to be drawn to it. It's not just going to be us.
Yeah, which this
What was
is
the whole
this
thing
is
about
something that
this?
has been referenced in another session.
So I did have a little bit more experience with it.
Yeah, so in session 2 there was another supply crate, and a character even referenced this supply crate because the one in session 2 was the second supply
Mhm.
crate to enter the city. So this whole scenario has already been referenced in another session.
Oh, bet.
What are you pinging?
This
That is a
building, you
roof,
said there-
yes.
No, the building inside the building. You said the back door was slightly open and
I
Kind
don't
of
think
going
it
The
for
the
the
back
back
door
being
to this
anything.
building was open.
No, you said it
No,
was
you
the one that I
said
was
it was
climbing
this
on.
one. Yep, you said it was slightly open, but that's why Sean didn't go inside because he didn't want to. He
I was
asking
never
about-
okay. Then you guys just misunderstood what I was saying. I was never referencing this building as even having a back door. It had one, but it wasn't. I was talking about this back door.
Oh, literally, yeah, because Sean sits there
Oh.
and was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I'm
why I
gonna
didn't
climb
go
the
in.
ladder. I'm gonna climb the ladder here. Is it gonna make a noise to attract anything in here? Like,
I
Mhm.
didn't
about
even
the
hear him say
building.
that.
But you thought
No.
he was talking about the zombie over here.
Yeah, I never even heard him say that. So
No,
that's just on me. It wouldn't have mattered. There was nothing inside the building.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if there's anything behind that. Like, there's
No,
a
there
another
was nothing
survivor,
there was nothing
another
in the
zombie
building.
or something. Okay, I got you. Yeah, but I think everything kind of went good with how we kind of did it. You know, uh, I guess we can honestly ask you, how do you think it went well for first time cooperative DMing?
I mean, I feel like it went pretty well. Sean was kind of unhinged a lot of the time.
I was not. I was fine. I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I don't even mean unhinged like, oh yeah, he was like talking about like some bad stuff, but just like going on random tangents to just talking like way too much over us while we're trying to actually have a conversation about what's the plan is.
I was silent. I wasn't talking loudly.
He said while ransacking a pantry and yelling about what he
Oh,
finds.
Ritz! Wow, wow, you have a lot of
Yelling about
feedback
it
here.
was
And
not
so
anywhere
beef
near
jerky's really
yelling.
good. You know,
Was
the
not
cheese
anywhere.
grits are really good. And then we found
Fine, the
other
recording will
crackers.
show
And
it. I wasn't talking loud. I'll be exonerated.
You were talking loud enough where I couldn't understand what Mason was talking about.
Gotta turn up his volume then, Ganger.
I would have just sat there and had it to where like your dude would say something every now and then, but like a quick little like, ooh, some crackers. And then like pause for me and Austin to keep going. And then, who this?
Yeah, it's like you
So,
were
like,
waiting for us to start discussing what was happening before going into more detail about what you
It
find in
was
his
more because you
pantry.
guys were doing this. I'm in the background fucking doing shit. I'm just so people motherfuckers know.
I think they kind of know once you say, yeah, I'm just looking for food.
Yeah, they want
I'm
what kind
Yeah,
of food we get.
like
What do we got?
adding a bit of detail is fine, but you were continuously adding it for way too fucking long.
But it's okay. We killed the zombie. We got
I
vampires,
just
dude.
won't
We did a
be
thing.
comedic anymore. Never mind.
Like I said, you can add things, but just like when you're done, you're done. You don't have to continuously keep going.
I kept on
You can
finding
end the
shit.
scene at some point. That is
That's true.
allowed.
Roll-ups with the tattoos. All I'm saying.
That's awesome. What else do you think?
Yeah, I thought it went pretty well. I like how final encounter, Sean waited till the very end to use his signature, and then you never used yours at all, despite setting it up for so long.
Well, hold on.
I
The
know.
final encounter was whenever we got the signature.
Technically, yes.
Because before you were like, oh well.
No, actually, not even really, because we had it
I
at the
said that you
apartment,
guys had it at the apartments and could use it.
and so that means we had
Did
it
you?
when the zombies came into the apartment.
Yes,
room.
Mason
Oh, we
used
didn't
it.
get our
Dude.
feet. We didn't get our feet. That's what it was.
You didn't have your
Yeah.
feet.
But I think the thing about the signature moves is kind of like, I don't know. Like, I thought about it.
You just don't
whenever-
think of it. That's the main
I
thing
thought
for
about it
me.
a couple of times. It's just in certain
try to find the
scenarios,
right
I feel like it
time.
just plays better to where it's like, okay, let's just do a normal attack because like I don't know if this is a good moment for me to use it. Because, you know, like there might be a moment where like if I did it on a zombie and Sean can't even see me, then my signature attack isn't really going to do anything other than
Yeah, but you could give it
me
a
a better
different
chance
effect.
That is kind of true.
You don't. You're tying it down where it can only have one effect. It can have whatever effect you want it to have.
That is true. I don't know. Maybe I'll if we keep going, you know, hopefully. I had fun, so I'd love to do it again. Keep going, but maybe I'll make like the signature move more of an important thing, like come out the gates using it.
Okay, so we have, unless you guys want to add anything, we have 2 more topics I want to quickly get to.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is specifically for Sean. Mason, if you want to give your 2 cents, you can,
I'll listen.
but it'll be kind of hard for you to. So Sean, you've now played with companions and without, right? You've kind of already touched on it, but how do you feel playing with and without companions?
In terms of which do I prefer?
Not what you prefer, but just like your general like opinion on it. Like, do you like having the companions? Do you like it just being like nice and simple where it's just you?
I mean, they both have their own challenges, and they both have the things that make them fun. Obviously, being able to kind of like bounce back and forth, like obviously ideas that you're doing with someone and actually getting input back, and being able to comedically like say stuff and things like that, and actually have like reactions from someone. That's obviously fun. And then the downside is obviously
Well, I
whenever you're
mean,
doing
less
it
of like
solo.
companions versus other players, and more of like companions versus no companions. Like how, like okay, let's say for this session, if we would have had companions, how differently would you feel?
Oh,
Like in that regard.
I do enjoy the companions. I like that more than playing without companions, if that makes sense. But not saying I don't. This isn't
Okay,
me saying I don't like doing
is that
co-op with
because
Mason.
of
I just like having the companions because it's almost like
is that due to
you have.
difficulty, or is that due to what?
Well, it creates another element in the story too, where it's more. There's going to be characters or companions that you have that you like more than others, and there's going to be ones that are better at shit than others. So it kind of envelops. You have to develop more strategy for a lot of things. Like, who am I going to bring? What are they going to do? What like things like that. Like for some of my other places, I'm not going to go bring Iggy to go fight a bunch of fucking people. He's the last person I bring. Okay, well, who can I bring? And then you think about, okay, cool. Well, this is what I have going on at camp. I need people here to defend this, but I also need somebody with this type of skill set to come with me on the scavenging run, so that way we're not cooked. So then you gotta kind of gerrymander your camp and just who you have into a group that's going to be able to, you're going to be able to do stuff whenever
Right, and
whether they're
leverage
there
like
or
their
whether they're not, and
skills.
leverage like their skills, and also make it to where if something does happen at camp whenever I'm away, at least people are able to defend themselves, because I can't just leave all the people that can't fight at the camp and then we get raided and then we're dead. So it creates another element in there that you kind of have to think of, to where it makes it a little bit more in depth, where without companions it's basically just, oh cool, this is what I'm gonna fucking do, let's see if it works, to where it's just kind of fuck it, it'll happen. Like you don't have other people, I guess you don't have to play with a conscious of like, okay, well if this happens, I don't have to worry about anything else happening to anyone else because there's not anybody else. But whenever I'm doing things in the main campaign, what I do will directly affect what I have in the camp and potentially morale. Like there's a lot more implications of what happens because there's more people around, which I
Right.
do like.
Okay, Mason, you've not played with companions, but your thoughts based on what has been said
I
and from
think
what you've seen, from what you've watched.
I think like a mix of both would be kind of nice because so like the nice
Like
part about
so, like
having
time where there is companions and time where there's not.
yeah, for the most like because like me and Sean, like we can sit there, our characters can like Clayton and Dexter, we can build up a relationship together based on how me and Sean want to play it. But if we have a companion that like at the end of the day you're kind of controlling and you have more of like their personality behind, it makes it where we actually have to like try and build like a relationship with. Like I feel like for the most part, me and Sean are gonna work together basically no matter what. There's no there's less likely to be a well, Sean's not gonna want to be with my character and I'm not gonna want to be with Sean's character. But if there's a companion kind of included, it might be like, we try and persuade them to join our group, or we try and do this and we just don't roll and we fail, and so that person doesn't get to do anything, or we lose that, or they sit there and they might be a traitor and we don't know. Like there's more elements to it that we have that make it where it kind of makes it more involving in the story instead of just me and Sean just having our characters talk.
Right.
One thing that
Like,
I'd like to see, good, continue.
no, you're good.
One thing that I would like is if we did continue this, we do get companions.
That's
It'd be
next
really
topic.
cool. It'd be really cool if potentially, like, let's say we get 2 more companions. It's like, okay, cool. Like, we need to go scavenge these areas and almost have like 2 different events where, like, in the timeline they're happening at the same time. But like, let's say, kind of like how in the first scene here, I wasn't involved and it was Mason. Similar like that again, where okay, cool, I'm not involved in this one. It's Mason and whatever companion that he
So
has.
splitting the
But
party.
simultaneously, whenever
Yep.
they're doing something, I'm in a different area doing that. Obviously, you can't tell them both at the same time, but like for continuity, things like, cool, you guys are both doing this. And like, let's say that,
Yeah, that'd have to be run like
for
the
instance,
first encounter where like one of you is kind of just
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
spectator.
yeah, yeah. And then like, because imagine
like for instance, let's say that okay, cool, we had two different companions in this episode, and I was in the middle of doing a scavenging run in the city, and Mason, or let's say I was in the forest doing something with the other companion that we had, and Mason was doing a scavenging run in the city. And okay, cool, I hear this beeping. Okay, cool, we should go get that. And then whatever Mason's doing, he's acting out his whole scavenging run. I'm acting out the stuff in the forest. And then it ends up meeting where okay, cool, Mason decided he does want to go to this. Awesome, Mason's going to go to it. And let's say okay, well maybe Sean decided he's not going to go to it. Cool, he won't be there, or vice versa, to where it's like kind of whatever that person's doing in their scene will impact what would potentially happen in the scene where we're supposed to meet based on their choices. Like let's say they find a third person that they're going to bring to the group. They pull up with some random dude. I have no idea who the fuck that is or anything like that. And just having that kind of implication where there's two separate things going on at the same time with companions, but me and Mason aren't together to where we're not going to have insight on what the hell's happening. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. It'd also
Yeah,
give you the
that-
ability to create little like side arcs.
Yeah, I mean that would make a lot more involved planning.
No, 100%. I'm just saying it would be cool. Not
Yeah,
saying obviously
I get what you're saying. So, yeah, next. So this is deemed a one shot. Opinion on if it should remain a one shot or be expanded into a mini. And it just because it's deemed a one shot doesn't mean we won't see the characters again. There could potentially be another one shot that takes place with these characters down the line. That doesn't necessarily mean that these guys are out.
Oh yeah, I'm more than willing to make it into a mini. Whether that's with the same exact characters, we make a mini where we have different characters and we just make a mini series out of it and keep them a one shot. I'm cool with either one. I don't know if Mason either wants to stick with this character or respec a different character to make that be like a mini campaign thing that he does with that character.
Which
if there's some things he wants to roll out or anything like that, but I'm down for either one.
Which I think, honestly, like with how this goes and how it went, I think it'd be fun to continue on because I feel like our characters didn't really get a story behind it. They just kind of they're just like, hey, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
No, yeah.
I think it'd be fun to kind of carry on with these people and at least get a little bit more involvement into it, like literally have it as a mini series where it might be like this episode and then maybe 1, 2 others, and then it's like okay, well we're done with them for right now at least, or maybe that's the end of their story, but like give it to a point where these characters and whoever they run into actually get some development and everything.
Okay, so Sean's kind of whatever with it. Mason would like to see it expanded. Is that the gist?
Yeah, I'm cool with either one. I'm main reason why I'm saying if we make it a mini and Mason wants to switch characters, whatever we want to do, I'm cool with keeping.
Well, if you're
Dexter and doing
switching
a mini also.
characters, then
I'm cool with either one.
It wouldn't be a mini based on this.
I'm more talking co-op is what I'm saying in general.
Yeah, more co-op stuff could definitely be a thing. But whenever I'm talking about keeping this a one shot versus a mini, I mean like a mini directly off of this. So instead of this being a one shot, this becomes episode 1 of a mini. Where then there'd be another episode that directly or indirectly continues off of this. That's more what I'm asking.
I think it'd be more fun to carry on with this too because, like you said, with like the care package and everything, that was brought up in the main story, and so obviously our characters kind of like not known, but now kind of known that this is them and that these people are actually
so
at least somewhat noted.
For reference, because you haven't seen session 2, all that was referenced was that there was a supply crate. There is nothing known about the people who got them or any of that kind of information. All that's known is that there is a supply crate that hit, and there, as of session 2, there was a second one. That's it.
Yeah, but I feel like that gives you the opportunity to make something out of that, to where like this is like a side story. Like if you compare it like The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, like some stuff like that where like stuff happens in the show that like you're just like, oh, that doesn't matter at all. But then there's also stuff like, oh well, dang.
Are you
You
saying
kinda-
more
just
you
have
have
the
two
option.
campaigns in the same with the same continuity, except they're running side by side where we'll never meet up with the main campaign that I'm in, but there's all this stuff going on where potentially like, oh, there's rumor that over in the east that there was
Yeah,
this that happened,
I
and
was about
then
to bring up
that would
third
be these
option.
characters.
Would you prefer if these characters were potentially rolled into the main?
That's. I mean, I feel like that'd be cool. Is just having them. I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be a missed opportunity to where they could or couldn't go
Well,
into the
I'm
main. Like,
asking for like preference. Like if it was your choice about what was to happen next, would you prefer this be sort of locked off as like a one shot where like maybe these characters turn up again, maybe they don't. It's kind of up in the air. This continue as a mini, like maybe like a 3-parter kind of thing, or for this to kind of just be a one shot and they're rolled into the main.
I think this would probably play out best for right now as a mini, with the chance of going into the main, because like since it's taking place in the same thing, like in the same continuity, like if they do roll into the main, you could have it to where our characters are kind of just they're up there with the main characters, but they're not like the main characters. You know what I mean? Like they're obviously of
So
importance,
if
but
this is rolled into the main campaign, what would likely happen is that Dexter would become an NPC if he's rolled alongside Clayton, or potentially Clayton could just go it himself because the main campaign is on day, I believe, 17 as of now.
Yeah,
So there is potential where like you could rock up by yourself or with Dexter or with someone else entirely. And the implication would be you would be playing Clayton going into the main campaign, and Sean would be playing as the main character Steve of the main campaign.
yeah, I
Which
think, like
isn't
I
to say
said,
you
as
would be
of
sidelined and he would be the main character. It's just he's the only player in the main campaign.
yeah, as of right, that's what I'm saying. Like I think as of right now, this should be seen as a mini with just like Sean said, like being a side by side of the main campaign, to where like there's little whispers and stuff of what's going on with us,
So the
and
only thing
then
that makes it hard about that is that again we're on day 4, so unless I time jump us significantly ahead to sort of match it up more closely, there's been no references to it, and there's also very few groups out there to sort of
and
spread the information. So the
so this
likelihood of that kind of stuff happening would be pretty low.
and that's why I don't think it's a big thing right now, because for me and Sean's character, like for Dexter and Clayton, it's just the two of them right now in the woods trying to survive. They're probably not going to be doing anything other than surviving. You know what I mean? Like, unless there's getting something that's drawing them to where they need to do something. Like, I feel like for these characters, a time jump is kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say it, but kind of a necessity, because
Yeah, I'd say that it's needed.
we are in the woods surviving. We are not. We have no motivation to go anywhere. We have no motivation to like do
I
anything
think
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
I
is
agree.
why
I
I'm
think it
saying
needs-
it would be
base.
hard for any kind of like information or influence from them, or potentially if they grow a little bit a group, to really mean anything. Like there's little chance of information about them spreading.
So that, like, I feel like the first, like, if this became like a full on mini, the first, like, it's like this episode, maybe even the next or two, would be like a little bit side by side, to where like it's a kind of caught up to the time, but like even then it's nothing's heard of us in the main
You,
campaign.
you
here's
cut.
what
But
I
on
would
like that
recommend.
fourth episode, we're oh, I think by the fourth episode of like the mini, it should be like a whisper, or even like the third, kind of depending on how much happens in the episodes. Like I feel like
Well,
just
at that
kind of
point, it's pretty much just
quiet.
a full campaign.
Yeah, but
Because if it's
that's what I'm
going
saying. And then
past
at that
like
point, just go
episode
into the
3 or
main.
4, then it's just a full campaign at that point. It's no longer a
It's
mini.
that's true.
And what I would recommend we do is this. I would do a time skip to day 15 and have the last 2 days be eventful. If we were to do it somehow, make it to where they do kind of we hear news of them, make it to where similar how episode 2 and 3 was for us, Austin, where it's just basically a long, big like kind of arc that happens almost to where something crazy eventful happens within those 2 days to where we're gonna hear about it or something like that, or whatever day we end up being on whenever we decide that they might want
Again,
to
the issue with
coincide.
that is who's going to spread that.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying
people talking about
is
it, but who's going to talk about it?
what I'm saying is add in companions and stuff like that, and you can make it to where we do have, obviously not wanting to spoil anything. Well, no, fuck it, you guys already seen it at this point. With
At
John's
this
group,
point, what's going
how
to be
there's
put out is up
John's.
to 3.
Yeah, so we know what happens with John's group to where what they go on off and do. So you could have it be similar like that, or maybe John sees it or something like that whenever he's going around in the city, kind of brings it up, or you could make it to where potentially these characters do come in like how John did, and then you just establish a relation with them, and that's how we directly meet them. Yeah, we're on complete kind of opposite sides, but make it to where somehow we're scavenging through the city, and that's how we run into
Well,
each
yeah, but if
other.
you directly meet them, then that's not really what we're talking about.
I
No.
think as of right now,
But
it's
what we're
just
talking about is like they're doing stuff, and then the information of them doing stuff passes along to the main crew.
I think this is what I say we do. I think we do another one of this if that comes up to it. So if this one comes up to another episode, if we're like, yeah, let's do another one, that will be the lead way into the main campaign. Because I feel like if we're gonna do it once, it's just gonna make it easier to kind of guide itself into the main campaign at that point. So I think if we're like, yeah, let's do another episode, then either at the end of that episode it should be implementing like going into the main campaign or preparing for us to appear in the main campaign of like whatever episode the main campaign's on. Because I mean, so far we've just played once, and that's kind of it. So I think that second one should just be kind of the deciding factor.
If you're wanting them to get weaved in by word of mouth, that's not going to work. There's not really a way to do that. They're going to have to run into each other. Is more what I was
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
They're
Like,
not. There's not going to be any unless they do some crazy shit like they knock down a fucking building and everybody sees it or something like that. There's not going to be necessarily a way unless you think of some sort of like giant thing that two people can do, where it's like holy shit, like a bunch of people are seeing like whenever like maybe I'm in the main campaign, I'm fighting a human or something like that. Let's say I'm interrogating them, they bring it up by chance. Like it would have. I don't really think that there's any opportunity for that to happen, which is a group of two, unless you make it to where in the next episode that we do, we get a shit ton of companions, and then it's like, oh well, there's rumors that there's this group that's going around that we've seen, just moseying like shit like that. But other than that, I'd say they have to stumble across the main crew like naturally, whether that's on a scavenging run or whether these people with Clayton and Dexter they get driven out of this area and then they defect more towards where the Ranger Shack is, things like that. But there's not really any way that comes to mind to where you can make it to where like, oh, word of mouth people are just talking about these two people unless they do something insanely fucking huge. Or if you have it to where maybe the second supply drop that we know what happens to, maybe they show up late to it or something like that, and then there's people that are already there and they don't get it, and then they go, yeah, no, we saw this group that ran off with it before, and then maybe these people try to go join up with them. Something like that.
Austin.
Yeah, I mean it's it's like you were saying, it's word of mouth is just not really
That's what I'm saying.
possible.
It would be kind of an ass pull, is what it would
Yeah,
feel
it
like.
would like it technically is possible. It's just extremely unlikely that that would happen.
That's why I say we do another episode with them, maybe some companions, and see where it kind of leads us.
Yeah.
And by the end of that episode, or like I said, at the technical third episode, or if you wanted to make it the main campaign episode, at that point they slide their way in.
Yeah, the only way that you'd be able to make it work by word of mouth is not us hearing, not the main campaign hearing about them, but them hearing about the main campaign and making it to where they try to defect over towards them. That would be the only way you could make it work. Because at least
We also
Well,
have
even
plenty
then,
of
that's
time to
not
make up
really
stuff.
like the only real way to make word of mouth work would be like have like John's crew meet them. and then John's crew goes back to trade at the shack and is like, "Oh yeah, we found these guys." That's
Yeah,
that's
it
the
would
only
have to
way
be
that you could make
something
it work.
like that.
There would have to be someone in common that has met both directly. It can't just be, "Oh yeah, well there were some people who hit up the crate." Yeah, it was
That, or unless you have them
supposedly this
join up
group
with
over
like,
here.
if you have them join up with a group of bandits or something like that, or have it to where they get captured by bandits and we just stumble across them in the main campaign. It would have to be something like that to
Yeah,
where
they
it's
were actually at the
almost
strip mall, Sean.
no, yeah, something like that, or it'd have to be something similar to where it just doesn't really like it would be tough, but it wouldn't be the main crew hearing about them. It would be them hearing about the main crew, or the main crew stumbling upon them whenever they're in some sort of situation that they just so happen to be near.
Yeah.
It couldn't be anything like that.
But to my understanding, you
Oh,
guys
hey.
are electing that you'd want an extension. Is
Yeah.
that my understanding?
Yes, we do it.
Okay. Then I suppose I will at some point put together some. I'll put together a session too.
Yeah.
And to my understanding, you guys do want companions introduced.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. The only thing that
Although
the only issue that really comes from companions being present is like in terms of gameplay, who controls who.
I think at that point you'd be
give it to
like,
Mason. I've done
and
it
I
in the
think
main campaign. Give it to Mason. That's what
I
I'm
think you
saying.
should
Well,
just
it's not
bounce back and
really.
forth.
I am
My issue is not really that.
give,
It's
I am delegating it to Mason.
Sean. That's not the issue I'm getting
No, I
at.
know. I'm just
The issue with it is if you assign companions to certain people, then they're obviously going to gravitate more towards those characters.
which could create a potential like
Which
rift
could,
in the
yeah,
group.
it could be like, well, they really only want to hang out with these sort of characters. That sort of creates like a sort of division, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, these are Sean's survivors and these are Mason's survivors. So,
Well, that's why like the personalities is gonna be you, and yeah, we're gonna be playing as them. But I think at that point,
well, yeah, but what I'm
you're
saying
gonna
is that
kind of have
there's going to be a bias.
for the most part, yeah. For whenever we play them,
I mean, it just with having companions, that's gonna just be a thing that happens, which is why I'm bringing it up as like a potential issue. I'm not saying I'm not going to do companions because of that. I'm just saying like that's obviously gonna have like a bit of a rift.
I think we'll be able to figure it out. Kind of see how we can play it out and everything.
We could kind of workshop it where, because here's the thing, I'm already doing a main campaign for the time, since I'm the main predominant player, to where I do not care if it turns out being where Dexter is more like second in command and we just kind of follow whatever Mason's doing, so that way we don't have to deal with that for continuity issues. I do not give a shit. That is totally fine with me. I'm totally fine with Dexter being more like the comedic relief, but he's just reliable kind of thing. That is totally fine. This can be more workshopping Mason's, and he's kind of it's his mini campaign that he's running with, and then I'm just a character that plays along. I'm totally fine with that, so that way we don't have to deal with that shit.
I think we can kind of jot down ideas and everything. But I think for right now, we kind of just let it set in and what actually happened, how our characters are.
Yeah, I got a lot of work. I guess I'm gonna be
Right.
busy.
I think that's it, isn't it? There's
Yeah, you guys have any closing remarks?
Nope.
no, I do not.
All right, well, I guess that'll be where the after party concludes.
W.
W.
Thanks. All right, with a thank you to all of our viewers and an extra special thank you to our members/supporters.
Reign of Cows for the Decay membership. Appreciate you, bro.
And for our Defiant members, the most handsome of the bunch, we're gonna go ahead and give that to Turtle with a Gun 1.